Welcome to House of the Princess. I am your host, Princess AV, where we're 50% righteous and 50% ratchet. Today, I'm going to go over Belle Collective episode 4. Uh, well, I just want to get right into it. First, though, we have to take care of the business. Can you look down and hit the subscribe button? I need your subscriptions. The sister needs your support. And also, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you want to know when I'm uploading content all of the time, please hit the notification button. Now that we've gotten all of that out the way, I'm just going to jump right into this episode. It was interesting, to say the least. As usual, it seems like it's a trend. Either the episodes start with Tambra or they start with Lateshia. And today, of course, it started with Tambra Cherie. And as she went to lunch with her mentor, Ramona, and they were talking about the career, and she asked her about did she have any regrets. And Ramona told her that she did want a family when she was younger, but her career got in the way and it was just a little bit too much for her. She didn't have any regrets other than that. And Tambra really started to open up her eyes about where she's going in her career. And I find this as a reoccurring theme that she tells everybody she froze her eggs. I'm starting to think that makes her feel better at some point about her situation and what she's doing. But I also feel that in that situation, she realized that she might be growing old to be an old hag. Okay. She's joining that old hags club and she's realizing that maybe she shouldn't have put so much into her career, that maybe she should have coddled her relationships more, that she's getting old and she may not be able to have a family because she wants to get married first and have that nuclear family. And she's not even in that way. And she's already 40 years old. And she's still constantly working on her career to be in the next level. And, I'm glad that she was able to kind of see that a little bit. So we'll see how that goes as the season progresses. Next scene is Lateshia on Ferris Street. This is another situation. Sometimes I think that these staged scenes are a little bit over the top, and it's just the people in the scene. Lateshia already met with the city councilman, and they told her that the building that she wants is of historic value and how much the building would cost. Well, all these things when you look online, okay? This is not no secret. And then they have the city councilman and the appraiser and the contractor for Jackson. I just thought that was a bit much. I know it worked to explain everything about the scene, but you know everything. And when they laid that $1 million and the $2 million valuations on her, it really blew her head off. We all know this sister girl ain't got that kind of money, but she gonna have to figure out where to get it or what she's going to do and how to get some loans or whatever. And then they said that she can't even buy it right now. It's just for lease. So this is going to be an interesting situation. I was kind of over it when as soon as they said that it was a 2-story building that for lease and it was of a national cherish, that it was it wasn't sellable, because it was artifact. I done forgot my words, y'all. I knew it was gonna be $2 million. It was no joking around with that. So yeah, it was like next. Then we go into therapy with Marie, Miserable Marie. I guess that's what we can all call her now, Miserable Marie, because it was just I just can't get into it. Her situation with her son and her raising her kids to be, foul like that. But she also gives you good insight into why her personality is the way she is, that her mom abandoned her at 9 and left her with her daddy. So she has severe mommy issues, okay? And it is evident with her kids. It explains a lot why she overdoes it with her children and the way she mothers Jerez. I think that she wants to overcompensate for not having a mom. And, she spoils her kids, and it's turned out to her detriment and their detriment. But I did like the therapist. I like the way they went to therapy. And I think that the therapist worked with her son, Jerez, very well and explained things to him down on his level. And one thing he made light of, which I think I agree with, is he told her not to tape another thing, to bring it around. He didn't even want to listen to the whole tape. He was like, I got the message, I got the story. But he made sure he addressed him as a black man and let him know how to act as a young black man coming up in the world today. And I really like that. I like the dynamic of that he didn't belittle him in that situation. But at the same time, I still think that somebody should have beat that boy ass. Somebody from the house. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? Latrice was in this. She didn't have a lot in this episode. They gave her a token scene at the Goddess Lens beauty salon, beauty bar. She just made like that she was not attending the brunch. And she just wasn't feeling it, and she just wasn't into it. It is what it is. I can understand from the last episode. And plus, she didn't want to go in the first place. Then we have the next scene, Lateshia, Antoinette. And again, this is another fluff scene for me. I was like over it. I'm like, I guess it was for the public to see some background, to give like some foreshadowing of what's going to happen later in the episode. And I was cool with that. Lateshia and Antoinette meet up at the Mississippi Civil Rights Museum. The only thing that bothered me, Lateshia in there crying and they talking through the museum pieces like they had never heard of slavery before. Y'all living all the way in Mississippi. I'm sure they got people still hanging from trees right now and sharecroppers out there, and she's crying and they showing all the pictures of hangings and, oh, this could be my family. And I'm like, girl, bye. Like you ain't never seen Roots before, okay? Like it was just, I couldn't get into it. We all black. We know about our history. It probably was some powerful things that you saw, but it was just, like it was her first time hearing about slavery. That's the way they were acting. And I was just over that, and then they keep talking about Antoinette and her white husband. I'm over that too. And she said she had concerns about having kids and biracial kids in Mississippi, and that was the demise of their marriage. But I'm thinking like, y'all didn't have that conversation before you got married. These are conversations you're supposed to have when you're dating. What do you think about kids or whatever? Come on. Like that was like, ugh, I couldn't get with it. Then we go back to Tambra. So she goes on a date with her ex-boyfriend. Now he was cute or whatever. Now they dated for 16 years and they had to sit down and understand why they didn't work out. But I tell you, that man, he probably still was getting her coochie wet. Because all you could hear all through the confessionals and all that. She did it in her over the top way. Girl, these voices in your confessionals. This is my radio voice. And I could not imagine talking to my people like this all the time. Okay. Like it's like she's just on all the time. And I can't imagine having sex with someone who talks like this. You know what I'm saying? It was just, girl. I think there's another person in there that's more, you hear it peep out just a little bit when she's talking to people. But she and a couple of other people in the cast seems like they're very affected by the camera. Like they're on. Lateshia is another one that's really on when the cameras are on. And I think that now it's past them even realizing what it is, especially in Tambra, because she's, on the radio and announcing all the time. And you could tell in her mouth, the way she talks, that is how they teach you to talk when you're on the radio, so you can enunciate your words. So yeah, girl, please bring it down to us. It feels like we're missing the real her. That made my lips hurt. But again, they go back. I think she still liked him. Okay, she said they were friends. She was just really giddy around him. And she mentioned that their romance had gone out of their relationship. And he mentioned that her career played a part in that, and him pushing her towards her career, it took away from the relationship. So she did say that was eye opening. So maybe she won't join the old hacks club. I'm happy for her. She agreed to go out on another date with him. And, she could have had her kids with him. I believe that to be true. But a lot of us Black women, we put our careers before families. And again, it ends up to be our detriment sometimes. So, like some of the other episodes, the end of the episode ends with the group scene. This time it was another luncheon. First it was a luncheon, then it was a birthday party. Now it's a luncheon. It's always something big. They always doing something great. So the luncheon was pretty, and again, Letitia's trying to get out the announcement for Farrer Street. And there's always some crap going on. So 2 extra guests were there. The councilman comes back, Lakeither, and Antoinette's white friend, Kaylon, is there. You see in the confessional, Antoinette says there's no one there for Marie to fight with, so they should be getting along. Baby, bye. Soon as Marie comes in, you have her ugly, confessional, miserable Marie. She shades Antoinette's outfit, saying she looked like she coming to a funeral, but I thought she looked cute. Okay, she did what she could, and she was very standoffish towards her, and she mentions Latrice and Latrice not being there, and she doesn't have an entourage, and she just couldn't hug her and just be like, hey girl, hey, and keep moving on. She had to do some miserable Marie stuff. Now this time she wasn't dressed like Lil Bo Peep. She had a little sexy dress on, so in her finger waves, you didn't have to weave in her hair. So it was something different this time, I guess, girl. She's not doesn't have a middle ground. She just goes from up to down all the time. This time Tambra is hosting, as she usually does. So that sets the tone for everything. And she also explained that she never experienced racism. And I'm with Lateshia. You've experienced racism, darling. Not in 40 years, you've experienced racism. Now, because she's light skinned, I think that she may not have noticed it as much as other people, but I believe she's had it. And people mention her light skinned privilege. She does look light enough to pass. But because all that daggone hair, that's for sure she ain't passing, because all that extra weave she got in her head. Take the bundles down, girl. But I think that she may have been conditioned to not even notice it. That racism is so prevalent that some things she may not have noticed that it was racism. But the other people mentioned colorism, that she gets away with stuff because of how light she is. And I do believe that as well. So all this is going on, this back and forth talk about how white people treat us. Kaylon walks out. And when she gets in the hallway, she's crying those white tears. And I think she developed some white guilt and everything. And then she was like, white people don't talk about you like that. We don't talk about you like that. And I'm like, well, you're not oppressed, darling. When white people talk about us in a whole different way. And I thought it was just too much. You've never been around this many black people before is the problem. Maybe. So that was an issue. And they had to talk her down off the ledge and get her right together and get her makeup back together and tell her it's going to be all right. And then she could be an ally. So next she comes back in and they ask her some questions. And she mentions that she's a descendant of Jefferson Davis. And they were talking about why she walked out and why she felt the way she had. And miserable Marie had to interject. That takeover spirit. And she said, this my best friend day. This my best friend. Well, she didn't say that, but that's basically what she said. And she said that this wasn't the time to talk about that. That Letitia's trying to make her announcement for Ferris Street, but she didn't say Ferris Street. I think someone else should have done that. She should have left that for Tambra or Lateshia, or if she felt a type of way, she should have pulled Lateshia coattails. That was not time for her to do it. And I don't care. You know, her and Essie act like they girlfriend and girlfriend. This Essie walked up on the woman to tell her that this was not the time for her to be talking. Why? Okay. Miserable Marie and extra Essie. Okay. The two together. And they jumped on this woman and they double teamed this woman to try to get this woman to shut up. And it made the situation worse. And they're going back and forth and arguing at this brunch. Now, this is the second time Miserable Marie has made a spectacle at Latisha's brunch. This is 2 for 2. Okay. Girl, get yourself together. Get your emotions together. Get your mouth together. Now, Miserable Marie can't handle her own household, but she always trying to run somebody else's stuff. I just have a problem with her, okay? She went about that all wrong. It was terrible. And she was disrespectful to that woman as the woman came back for her. The woman didn't come for her at first, okay? When she told Marie to come here, you know, then she popped off. This ain't the 50s and the 60s. She told her she wasn't nobody. Oh, you can Google me. Like, all of that is over the top and it's classless. For these people to talk about how much money they got all the time, they lack class and decorum. I think she does it just for ratings to build the show. I don't know, but it's a lot. I'm not really here for it, but I'm going to watch it anyway. They said it's to be continued. We all know this white woman and Miserable Marie is not going to fight. I didn't like the way that went about it, the way it went down. It was just a little bit extra for me. But of course, you could tell me in the comments. I think I'm going to set this as a premiere so y'all can comment together as the video's going down. I know it's late. I'm working. I'm getting behind schedule. I'm working to stay abreast of all of this stuff, okay? But in the meantime, I want to thank you for watching again. Look down. Press the subscribe button. Press the like button. Tell your friends to watch this video. Like and subscribe. Share the video, please. Give me all of your input, your criticism, everything. I just thank y'all for watching. Again, if y'all don't know who I am Princess AV, the home of the House of the Princess, where it's 50% righteous and 50% ratchet. If you'd like to give a donation, look up my social media below, my Cash App, all of that good stuff, my business page, all of that's coming out. And again, I love y'all for continuing to watch me. This is the House of the Princess, and I am turning out the lights. You have a good night.